Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back. Child support, the great devil that's sitting in between a lot of people's relationships, a lot of people's lives, and a lot of people's forward motion in life. Even though the recent videos that I am planning on uploading here on Patreon are regarding discharge and how to do and enforce support and satisfaction, gathering documents for all that and all the other types of discharge, but it seems child support seems to be a more urgent situation because I've been getting people sending me message regarding it, and all that is nonetheless interrelated. But if one doesn't know how to do a court and satisfaction, how can you do it for child support? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in an order of dealing with child support first and linking it to the other remedies. And those other remedies applies to any other situations. But I'll lead and begin with child support before going over the remedies like copyright and the forms of discharge. Because copyright, property, and asset protection has a lot, in fact, has everything to do with child support, or anyone who hasn't had some type of court order with arrears or some garnishment. They're just currently going through all those kangaroo courts. So child support, here it is. As always, the basic is always very important to comprehend before you jump into anything. If you comprehend the basics, you'll be able to see everything from a bird's eye view, even the things that are not said. The origin of child support is something called the Social Security Act. And the law reference into that is 74th Congress, First Session, Chapter 531, passed on August 14, 1935. The full title is to provide for the general welfare of establishing a system of federal old age benefit, and by enabling the several states to make more adequate provisions for aged persons, blind persons, dependents, and crippled children, mature and children welfare. Let's pause right there. Social Security Act is linked to child support, or at least the way that they use the Social Security Act to take your children is to provide for general welfare by establishing a system of benefits and by enabling the several states to make more adequate provision for dependent children and children welfare. So the presumption behind and underneath the whole child support system, what it's standing on, is that it's a welfare system, a general welfare to assist the children, for their well-being, and to also enable the state of so-and-so to make more adequate provision for the children. This supposition of welfare is the reason why and how they go hard at people. And see, the welfare aspect is really not why they go hard. It's more so the money that they make from it. Because from this Social Security Act, you will see all the link that allows them to get millions of dollars per child. You wonder why they go so hard on the parents, why they do everything to just separate the parents, whether it's the father or the mother. And if they can't really separate the children from the parents, they dig into your pockets. They drain you dry. And they add insult to injury. It's all about money. That's why and how. And even though their presumption is based on this right here, it nonetheless still has no standing. Ever wondered why child support agencies and the arbitration courts of those agencies love to join you as a party to whatever they have going on, even though what they're speaking of really have no standing? This is the primary motivating factor. We went over this in the past, one of the other videos. It's all about the money. Title 5 grants the states for maternal and child welfare. They're making money by stepping into your natural God-given relationship between you and your child. They don't care about what's going on. On YouTube, we went over the parents betrayal doctrine. That's how and why they're stepping in. So I say go watch that video, and that gives you the general background. The details of how they do so, part of it is here in the Social Security Act. They step in under the presumption that the parent is unfit one way or the other, whatever the origin of it. And then after that, they get money because now they're saying, well, this child is an obligation on us now since their parents can't do anything. So now we have to take care of it. The Congress and the Treasury at the state and federal level are obligated per Social Security Act to give them a lump sum of amount for each child, and then to come after you. This is their motivating factor. So I've been going on about copyright and trademark. If one really comprehends how copyright and trademark works, you realize that it is not different from how you can get off of child support and get them off your back, or if you need to get your children, you can take them back, because your child, your earning, all of that are your copyrighted interest, especially where someone else is making money off of it. You now have a fair share in that grant that they're getting for your property, which is your child. I really did not want to rush into this. I really wanted to go into the details of how to actually create a proper trust, how to properly stay private when it comes to certain aspects specific, which I've been leading up to and building up to. But I'll nonetheless deal with this as I deal with those other stuff. It tells you in section 502, out of the sums appropriated pursuant to section 501 for each fiscal year of the Secretary of Labor, shall allot to each state $20,000 as such part of 1.8 million, as he finds that the number of live births in such state bore to the total number of live births in the United States in the latest calendar year for which the Bureau of the Census has available statistics. But this is basically telling you that the Secretary of Labor in your state and federal level are getting certain amounts based on each certificate of live births. This is where the whole birth certificate issue and the whole situation of creatures of law, aka making that child the ens legis through the birth certificate, because that birth certificate is a blank bond that's underwritten by the clerk when that child was born, and they attached it to that living soul to make money. And as they fractionalize it, they can tap into the amount that's made from fractionalization if they have the proper excuse, and that proper excuse that the guardian of that child, aka the parents, are not fit. So now they're going to step in because they have an interest through the birth certificate. So now if that's the situation, then that should let you know that that birth certificate, you should put it on lock. A lot of people have been trying to do it so many wrong ways, but we'll show the right way that's done, and we'll be talking about it very soon. I'm only one man. I can only make a video at a time and explain it in detail whereby it's not rushed. It's not good to rush explanations because people need to really comprehend it. And sometimes when information is listened to, you might miss a little bit of details in transition, and those little bit of detail is what glues everything together. So I'll try to add everything logically, even though it's not in a chronological order as I would like to. But given the fact that people are in need of this more, we'll just go over it. But know that every subsequent videos that will be coming up regarding trust, regarding privacy, regarding copyright and trademark, and discharge are not isolated with this child support situation. The birth certificate is an important aspect of how they have the ability to do the things they're doing to you. It gives them the right of interest in a commercial level. When they speak of kangaroo courts, those child support agencies, those are truly kangaroo courts. And the only aspect that's valuable, what they're doing, is in fact commerce. So you have to have knowledge of commerce, how to use commerce to navigate, and knowledge of how to use the law to shut them down. Some people are fortunate enough to have a very good relationship with a significant other, maybe their husband or their wives or their fiance or ex, whatever it is. Usually it's easier that way. Others, not so much. I've seen situations whereby even though the husband and wife are together and they're cool with it, the state nonetheless stepped in and said, we don't care. We're still going to do whatever we want. But if you don't know how and why they cannot do that, then you cannot step to them properly. If one does not know how and why to protect their assets and as to why they cannot come to you because of your property rights, then how can you deter them? You can't. So here's the link that they claim to give them the opportunity to do what they do. And that same link is based on a commercial interest of money, which is their primary interest, and they care for nothing else. Everything else is just killing two birds with one stone. Enslave their parents and perpetuate slavery while we make money. It's a win-win situation for them. But you will be the exception though. Now we'll be forthcoming with you. If your children have been taken, it is going to be a battle. But the battle will be much easier because you will understand the terrain and you'll have the proper information to navigate certain aspects. If you're paying child support arrears, it's mildly easier to get them off your back if you understand how property law works and how trust law works. And we'll be going through all that. It's currently 2:28 in the morning, so excuse my voice if it sounds a little bit sluggish. Out of the sums appropriated pursuant to Section 501 for each fiscal year, the Secretary of Labor shall allot to the state $980,000 in addition to the allotment made under subsection A, according to the financial need of each state. How is the financial need of each state determined? Whenever the child support agency goes to them, aka the Congress, and say, hey, we need grants. We spent all the money you gave us last month. You gave us $50,000 for this child, but we spent it all. So we need more. Now the state Congress passes a bill that says, all right, we need $980,000 more because we have all these different child support agencies saying they need more money. The twisted part about this public law is it does not limit how often they can keep renewing this allotment. And therein lies a loophole and the motivating factor. See, when money is involved in a situation, people will kill, people will separate families, people will steal, people will lie just to get access to that money. And that's precisely what has been going on and what is going on and what will keep going on if people don't comprehend these basics and do something about it. Why are we going about the financial stuff also? Because that's maladministration. They're getting compensation in grants to steal your children, which they have no right to. They're getting compensation in grants, and there's no proof of your life or the child's life getting better. Those are one of the things you're going to step with them to, and those are one of the things that you're going to do as a petition to the Congress. See, when you go at them, when you're really ready to go at them after acquiring the proper information, you protect yourself on one hand, and on the other end, you attack them on all ends, from different angles. You attack them from the Congress end, you attack them directly in their venue, and you attack them privately. You will carefully plan your moves, and you would execute at the proper time. The amount of any allotment to a state under subsection A for any fiscal year remaining unpaid to such state at the end of such fiscal year shall be available for payment to such state under sections 504 until the end of the second succeeding fiscal year. Meaning, if there's so much money just hanging about and we just so happen to not have given them they can still come back next year and basically add on to the new ones that we'll be getting. Meaning there's excess amount of money readily available for them to access. This is the motivational factor behind them taking your children, behind them coming at you attempting to enslave you. Now, regarding them having arrears on you and garnishing you, the full 37 minutes video is on the Patreon. Thanks for those who are watching YouTube, and take care and best of luck to everyone.